How's it going, everybody? Welcome on in. I'm making sure the mic's good, right? We good? This we might as well just do a fellow like back and forth mic check every time because at this point it goes so overboard. I think we're good. I got to admit, when the intro gets rolling, I actually kind of whistle along to it and have a ton of fun with it. Um, I like the old song. Uh, but yeah, Braden Bunch has the right idea. It's time. What? Come on, let me know in the chat. What time is it? Spam clocks. At this rate, I might as well make like a special member clock emoji for members. I know y'all were talking about different emojis and stuff need to be added on. At this point, I might as well because he just keeps winning. Corey Heim with his 9th win of the season. And at this point, yeah, I mean, he is it's 11 o'clock. Yes. It's a monkey out of 10. If it'll let me put it up. I don't know why it won't. There we go. Fox Gaming. No, I mean, I'm seeing it all over and it's hard to deny. Corey Heim is damn near unbeatable in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series this year. His 9th win of the season, 20th career win. And just absolutely insane. Real quick, this was the cutoff for the Truck Series playoffs. So I do have that ready to go for you. And they gave us the points, but they didn't show like who was how many up or down or whatnot like that. I got you on that one. So let's go into it. First of all, Chandler Smith out in this round, and I believe Jake Garcia as well. Both of them out. Those are the two eliminated. From there, Corey Heim is nice. Plus 69 over the cut line. To put it in perspective, without getting a win, right? I believe the most points you can make up in a race is 55. And he has 14 above that. So basically, if Corey Heim just holds serve next week, or in 2 weeks at the Roval, which I have a feeling he's going to be competing for the win and probably gain a bunch of points, he should be fine. He should be completely fine. 69, nice points ahead. Lane Riggs plus 22, pretty good position there, but not perfect. Hemrick plus 1, Ankrum plus 0, then Majeski minus 0, Enfinger minus 3, Caruth minus 5, and Honeycutt minus 7. So those are your point standings. We'll let them go on the bottom of the screen. Let's talk about the race itself. The EJP 175 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Race was 175 laps long, 2 hours, 6 minutes, 55 seconds, 8 cautions for 54 laps, only 3 lead changes. And Corey Heim wins over Chandler Smith by 0.823 seconds. About 8/10. Lap traffic did make a bit of a difference, but at this point with Corey Heim, you have to wonder if it was just mitigating the gap at that point. From there, though, it was Lane Riggs in third. So top 3, not surprising at all. Top non-playoff guy, Gio Ruggiero with a 4th place run today. A very solid run as well. Majeski in 5th. Then 6th is Enfinger. Honeycutt 7th. LaJoy 8th, Eckes 9th, and in 10th, Raja Caruth, who advances through doing so. Ankrum 11th, 12th is Hemrick. Michael Christopher Jr. in 13th. Had a little issue here and there, but still solid run. Dawson Sutton in 14th, 15th, Andres Perez. He led 47 laps today. Couldn't get the finish, unfortunately, on his end that he probably deserved. From there, Jake Garcia in 16th, lowest of the playoff drivers. 17th is Brent Cruz, and that's your lead lap. 1 lap down for Bailey Curry in 18th, Mason Massey 19th, Lothian in 20th, and Spencer Boyd 21st. 2 down for Jack Wood in 22nd. And last on the racetrack in 23rd is Matt Mills, meaning that of the 36 trucks that started, I believe that means that 5, 8, 13 were out of this race. It was a bloodbath in stage 2 for sure. This was rough to say the least, for sure as well. But of those that were out, Ben Rhodes 24th, Tony Breidinger 25th, 26th, Matt Crafton, Tomasi in 27th, Emmerling 28th, Tanner Gray 29th, Derek White 30th, Connor Jones 31st, Jason Alexander in 32nd. We have plenty to talk about on his account. Caleb Costner in 33rd, Norm Benning, the GOAT, 34th today. Just wanted to let the other 33 compete for the win that he obviously had in the bag. Malazzi in 35th, and Connor Mosack is last, 36th position. We'll put those down on the bottom. Yeah, Norm. That's right. And yeah, Christopher Jr. likely back in the 62 at Phoenix. He had a good run, solid run, ran into a little trouble, but that's just a truck series at this point. And I agree, Norm Benning is the GOAT. Let's talk about this race, though. I mean, Corey Heim, we got to get, as many of y'all be saying, the Corey Heim glazing out of the way early. But this was a dominant race. This was through and through one of the more dominant races we've seen of his this year. He led 124 laps, and just doing the quick math right now, that means he led 71% of this race. And that was on top of taking a different tire strategy going into stage 2. The 11 was lights out. I had talked about this week that the 11, to me, the rough patch for him, the little, if you want to call it a blind spot, sure, but maybe weak point was these shorter, flat ovals heading into Phoenix. We've seen this before, and the team had kind of been a little, I wouldn't say bad, but just kind of mortal around the others. Blew that assertion out of the water. I mean, just absolutely did. And yeah, maybe it wasn't as fast as a 38 at the end or the 34. But in the truck series, like it or not, especially as we get down the stretch, a faster, short and medium run truck is always better than having a long run truck. Early in the year, long run trucks can do pretty well. We saw Lane Riggs, especially with that. We've seen Smith a few times, Ty Majeski. That's just not going to be the case the rest of the way. You're going to need that short to medium run to be your sweet spot. And Heim has mastered that this year, and that team has mastered that this year. And like I mentioned before, 20th career win. He's now, I believe, 2 away from Todd Bodine. I think he surpasses him. 4 away from Johnny Sauter. I think we're testing it at that point. I think there's 4 races left. I don't think we're going to get 4. But could we get 2 or 3 Heim wins? Yeah, totally. Absolutely, totally. Corey Heim has been all around the best all year. All right, we got the Heim part out of the way. I know there's probably a lot of people who are like, oh, all right, we get it. Heim's good. But it kind of explains just how good they are and how the process is with that. That I find that fascinating. I honestly do. I find it fascinating just how that team and driver both perfectly match up to what you need to do to succeed in the truck series. I think it's honestly fascinating. I think when you dig deep down on it, and I would love if the broadcast was good and we actually could see that. But, and I don't know how it's just going to play. Look at that. Right here. Look at this. Do you see something wrong? It's been a while since I've ranted and raved. Not raved at all, really. Ranted about Fox. I won't rant too much. Do y'all notice something here? Hold on. Maybe I need to make myself smaller so you can see. Do you see the gears? Now, this isn't this is one of the many things that were wrong today. This is just the picture that Danny B sent me in our group chat for the podcast. We screw 5th gear with the next gen, baby. We're in gear 98. This is so stupid. I mean, and it's in fact, it's again that we've seen this. I can't get that mad at this rate. I probably should. I can't get that mad at this rate. It's just funny. It's just that smooth. That was smooth. Fast and Furious transmission. It's like if y'all ever saw the direct-to-TV Drake and Josh movie, and where it's Drake Bell is shifting nonstop. I have to imagine that was parody. And it's Fox doesn't care. It's true. Fox doesn't. They had They had a remote broadcast today. They missed so much stuff. Jamie Little seemed more spacehead airheady than usual. It just it's par for the course at this rate. It's par for the course. I should expect it. You should expect it. We all should expect this is going to be what we deal with the rest of the way. And this is what we're going to deal with for 6 more years, unless those rumors are true. And in the next year or two, Fox offloads trucks so they can make room for more like Indy and Indy Next content, which probably would be the best for all parties involved at this rate. Sorry, I had to get it out of my system. It's been a while. I've put up with enough of these just trash ass broadcasts. I had to say it at least once. That and it's like I remember at one point early in the broadcast, so like Stuart Friesen is here. He probably shouldn't be, but he's here. And I'm like, why? Why say that? Like, just be happy the dude is alive. Like after the crash he had and the injuries he suffered, like why do we have to like add that little bit in, because it wasn't like it was like one of those, like, oh, this might not be the right one. It was just like Stuart Friesen's here today. He probably shouldn't be, but he's here. And it's like, shut up. Just stop. Oh, man. All right. We got it out of the system. Let's talk about the race. There's stuff to talk about. First stage was just bonkers. You could tell these guys and gals had not raced here in 8 years. Because, I mean, lap 1, I'm like taking notes like, I take notes. Y'all know it. Y'all joke around that like, oh, Jared will take notes if like somebody breathes on the truck and stuff. And I'm like, well, depending on how they breathe on it, that might be noteworthy. But like, I'm just, I write down like, hey, start of the race. Here's what happened. 15 goes around 1 and 81 as well. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be a truck series race. It's getting very trucky for sure. And you saw a few more. You saw another crash later on, lap 34, where, and let me make sure I got his name right. The O2 of Jason Alexander decides to ride the wall, and not the top wall, the bottom wall, all the way down the front stretches, as I believe it was Raja and Daniel Hemrick were coming up on him and another lap truck. That being, was it Costner, I believe? And he enters the corner 3 wide underneath the white line. Now, forgive me if maybe I don't understand things. I'm not a professional race car driver. I've amateur raced before, but I've never professionally raced before. Right. But I also understand, like, you're not going to make the corner like that. Like, you're not. You are going to go in and wash up the racetrack, and you decide to go in like 3 wide down on the bottom. Fighter pilot, dive bomb, and here comes a giant fist. Like, what are we doing, dude? Like, come on, guy. Oh, I don't understand the thought process there. Like, I get that there's a slower truck, and he was slower, but that truck got out of the way of the leaders. And instead of slowing up, you decide to dive bomb him. Somebody explain. I mean, can someone explain it to me in like plain and proper English here? Well, where was the like A to B thinking here? Like, if I do this, this good thing will happen. Don't get me wrong. The closing rate was relatively quick, but they showed, and credit to Fox on this. All right. I ripped on Fox. I'll give them credit on this. They showed down the front stretch, and he's just riding the dente down on the bottom wall, like all the way down. And you would think that, maybe we just slow it up, let the leaders go by, and then go around. I mean, that was That was not a Fox or not a truck moment. That might have been a Fox moment, honestly. It might be on the level of Fox. But that was not like a truck series. That was like a that was like a ARCA break moment there. I've seen moves like that pulled in ARCA races before back in the day. And I get the truck series is, maybe not the greatest when it comes. The talent pool is pretty, it's pretty shallow once you get past the first like 10 in the field. Like I get that, a lot of newbies or people that have just, bring funding, stuff like that. Um, but if he had been able to keep going, like I argued that is something that's like, you know, parking worthy, like park his ass for the day kind of thing. Cause I can't understand the reasoning of the move, of staying down there so long, of getting super pissed about it after. Um, I don't get it. I do not get it. Oh, it's funny you say this because I see a lot of Connor Jones talk. Trust me, there's a lot of people in the Cars Tour, and other places from what I've heard on the short track scene. Not the biggest Connor Jones fan. Uh, just saying. I think the Cars Tour is like, no, keep him in trucks, and truck guys are like, no, go back, buddy, go back. Um, but we finally get it back going, and then Derek White crashes in 3 and 4. I believe he was blowing up an engine and like kind of just locked him up in. So we didn't really get a good angle, but it didn't seem like it was like a really bad move, if I had to say. It definitely was not on the other level. But who the hell doesn't Tommy Baldwin not like? Sorry, I know we're getting like I'm going back and forth off track, but I just saw like Tommy Baldwin despises him. Like Tommy Baldwin hates everyone. Like I'm pretty sure Tommy Baldwin hates his own shadow at this rate. Because every time I turn on Door Bumper Clear, like it is just him complaining about everybody. Like at least I'm trying to make some fun and out of it, when I complain about Fox or the O2 or Connor Jones. Like I'm at least gonna try and say some yeah, there you go. There we go. Tommy Baldwin hates Tommy Baldwin. um but that ended the first stage, which shocker, Heim won. I'm like looking through and I'm like, Heim swept it all. All right. It was a perfect race for Heim. If he had just led all the laps, that's the only way it would have been more perfect for him at this rate. But he wins it. And for the most part, it was just all playoff drivers. I want to say, I used to see him race at the fairgrounds a lot back, because it's home track. But credit to Dawson Sutton for a 9th place run in stage 1. And then I believe he finished 14th in the race. I just want to give credit. I like seeing somebody that I've watched before that they were in any of the national series or anything like that. I think he has a lot of talent, and I think that if that team can pick things up behind the scenes for him, like I think he can show out and be a top 10 driver at a lot of these races. Maybe not like playoffs all the time or anything like that, but I don't know. I could see him doing a lot better if he's given, improved equipment. So we get it back going in stage 2, and stage 2 calmed it down. Ruggiero, was battling Perez for a bit up towards the front and Brent Cruz. A lot of people had been pulling different strategies. Some stayed out, others, got tires. We did have a crash with Patrick Emmerling, but other than that, it was pretty much a clean enough stage. The final stage had a few other issues. Tyler Tomasi crashed. The 76 kind of washed up into him, in my opinion. I don't think that you get loose into the corner here. I don't think that in and of itself is something that's really too big. It's not like the other ones we saw. Next crash we see, I believe it was Tony Breidinger and Ben Rhodes came together into the corner. Now, it kind of seemed like, in my opinion, the 5 was a little higher up the track. But again, we didn't get a good view of it. I don't want to pin the blame on her or Ben Rhodes necessarily if we don't get that good of a view. But it did seem like the 5 was a little higher up. I will say overall, and I saw a lot of y'all talking about this in the chat before and during the truck race. So I think it's something worth talking about here. Tony Breidinger is just completely uncompetitive. She runs 23rd to 27th every week. And I'm seeing everyone saying the same thing about her and kind of joking, and I get that. I mean, the rest of that team is way above where she's at. And it was funny when Jamie Little was like, "We really don't see her crash much." I'm like, we see her crash sometimes. I say this, she doesn't crash as much as like Deegan used to. That's going to be the 1-to-1 that everyone always compares just because they're women. Whether that's fair or not, that's the comparison I saw y'all in the chat saying. I saw people on Twitter saying. So, I'm going to talk about what y'all want to talk about. And but she's not competitive at all. It's kind of clear she brings sponsorship. That's why she's in that truck. I would like to see what somebody who kind of came up more because they won can do in that truck. I have nothing against the girl. I think she's probably a better driver than me. I've seen her flash before and get, be in the top 15, even top 10 before. It's very few and far between, but it's not like it was, the entire field crashed for her to get up there. I remember being at a Kansas race, and I think off of speed, she was running like 13th in the closing 20 laps or something like that. And I'm like, there's something a little. I don't think it's going to go far, but it's the same thing every week. And I see a lot of people say the same things too, of like, well, if she wasn't stuck here or this or that. And it's like, would we make these excuses about any of the other 35 drivers out there? And my opinion is no. I would not be surprised if she does not have full funding next year, if someone else gets moved in there into that, I mean, I'll say this. I'd like to see what Catherine Legg could do in a competitive car. I mean, look what Catherine Legg did at Indianapolis in the 78, right? Totally cool with that. I'd be totally cool seeing what Catherine Legg could do. She'd probably bring really good funding to a Truck Series ride. And, I know a lot of people will joke around about her and about Rockingham and Phoenix and all those other things, but it's like when she's able to get a decent ride underneath her, I want to see her. I want to see her in a Tricon truck. I think she could be a borderline playoff driver, at least a top 15 driver. You never know with playoffs and point standings and trucks because everyone just loses their brains from like fifth on back. But like I think that would be a really, really I hesitate to say really competitive, but a really decent team up. I would think. I doubt it'll happen though. And then the last run of the race was about 33 laps. From there, it was just the 38 trying to run down the 11. The 11 maintained the gap, I think, a lot more than the broadcast was giving credit for. Not the 38, Chandler Smith, must-win scenario, put up the best fight anyone else could. And that played out in both stages. It played out in most of the restarts today. That 38 truck was fast. It was just bad luck in those first two races, completely screwed over any chance that he really had of making a deep playoff run. Bad luck or just bad circumstances. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays spoiler and wins another race by the end of the year, though. So, but overall, what'd you think of the race? Out of 10, give me an out of 10 rating. Personally, I wasn't the biggest fan just because I think there was just a little too wrecky to start with. Once I got past the restarts, they could pass a little bit in the pack, but it was pretty damn clear that clean air still was a major factor. I'd probably go 4 or 5 out of 10. I mean, I thought it was meh. I'm seeing, let's see, 5, 6, 6, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, fire Herbst. So 35. There they go. Man, y'all are going crazy with them. Yeah, probably 4 or 5. Just it was in the middle of the road race for the Truck Series. It's nothing. I was worried it was going to go full wreck fest at the start. I was worried we're like, oh man, we're setting up for nonstop crashing, 12 trucks finishing, and I'm glad they were able to sort it out. as they went. I will say the restarts were entertaining, going like 3 and 4 wide and 5 wide. Real quick super chat cooldown lap. And I saw some people asking too. I don't know how much I'll be able to catch when we have the chat going. But I've saw super chats before about it too. Whenever we do these streams, if y'all want to ask about like any of the NASCAR 25 stuff, the worst I can say is I don't know on stuff. So I was answering before, but I figured for today and tomorrow, I'll just let you guys know that. Beast of Metal here saying it felt like a 7 when I was listening on PRN after getting off work. Then I plunged to a 3. Wow. Then it plunged to a 3 once I got to my sister's and turned F Sports 1 on. Yeah. And yes, justice for Michael Marutz. I hope he gets his channel back. He's in talks right now with YouTube. So fingers crossed on that one. Zenith with the 11-month member chat. Thank you. Almost a year. We're almost there. By the end of the year. And, speaking of channel stuff to talk about really quick, as we got the member chat, we are, I think, less than 40 away from 90K. So like maybe if like a bunch of new people come in tomorrow, or a few of y'all who might not be subscribe, we do this after every national touring NASCAR series race, trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. Maybe we'll hit 90K tomorrow. Who knows? That might be pretty cool. Just saying. Then Kate Sean says, good luck, Indy. Fox is y'all's problem. Yeah, Fox bought like a third of them too. That's the problem. That is the problem. There are problem too, but I think IndyCar is stuck with them pretty much forever until they sell it off. Maybe they'll like build up the stock and then sell it, buy it low, sell high. Got to be better than this, right? Like, it's got to be better than this. Please. Can we just get it better than this? And that's not just IndyCar. I'm saying everything Fox-wise. It's interesting talking about the Fox portion and the different Fox stuff with it. I saw a lot of people that I know from the NFL side, and some of my favorite podcasters talking about it too. Like, Fox NFL coverage has taken a nosedive this year, from the crappy ticker to the bad replays to like old people in the pre and post game shows not knowing modern names and who to talk about. I'm looking at Terry Bradshaw right now. And baseball has been criticized for a little bit. I've been saying it for about 2 years now that because I know some of y'all don't care about the stick and ball sports side, and I totally get that. IndyCar was hit or miss at best this year. The hits were pretty good, I will say, but the misses were bad. And I got to say, man, I've been saying it since, I would say, probably the end of 23, probably 2023, maybe 2022. You'd have to go back and fact check me on that side of it. But I would say NASCAR and Fox was the canary in the coal mine. That was the telltale sign that things were going to start going down. Because, like, to me, Fox Sports got better and better up until about the early 2010s, right? Like, I thought their football coverage was pretty damn good. I went back and watched some old stuff, old Cubs clips from like 17, 18 years ago, and it was on Fox, and it was pretty good. And so, like, I was like just thinking, I'm like, man, everyone's really been hating on Fox for probably the better part of 3 or 4 years now, but like the NFL side's been better. I'm like, where's like the nosedive in quality, though? If you look at it, really starts out around the same time NASCAR's goes down. And it sucks because I honestly thought Fox Sports was the best for the longest time. But now when I look at sports coverage, it's like NBC and CBS run circles around Fox. It was actually funny watching Monday Night Football, and Artie Kempner, our old friend from Fox back in the day. He's the director of Monday Night Football now. And I recognized this, and so did Eric and Danny in the chat when we were all, separately, but we were all watching the Vikings Bears game on Monday Night Football. And we all were putting in there like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, like they sound like they're getting annoyed because every time they're trying to talk about something or want to see a replay, they get thrown into like a sponsored segment or some like pre-done segment. And it felt so Fox Sports, right? It's like a disease. It's spreading to the rest of them. There's something I noticed, and I wanted to talk about it at some point in the channel because today is just like normal Fox coverage, but it's just kind of crazy how in general Fox Sports has been going down, and the people who leave Fox Sports make other places worse. I think was it Beast of Metal? Was it you or somebody else that had put a super chat this week on the podcast that like Aaron Andrews went out and just like complained about people complaining about Fox broadcasts. And it's like, it's a whole culture issue with that company. And we're stuck with them for at minimum 6 more years for Trucks and Cup. Yay. Help. God, I would take the whole, if it meant fixing different things in NASCAR, whether it be points, whether it be broadcasting, whether it be marketing, I would be fine with the entirety of NASCAR. Trucks, Xfinity. Well, Xfinity CW is good, but if I had to, doing Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup all on Prime. Like, at least we'd know where to go. At least we'd know the broadcasting would be good. It's just rough, man. It's rough. But hey, you know what? Is what it is. We'll be live tomorrow after the Cup race. I can't wait to see y'all there. And hey, maybe by then we might be at 90K. Who knows? Fingers crossed. Can't wait to see you there. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and have a great rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Later, y'all. Have a great day.